Okay, we're back. Good to see you again. I can't help myself. So I wanted to look at one more thing about lanes. Because I'm seeing we've got this lane here, and that's cool. But then we're playing like this double lane uh, while we're sprinting, and like we should be able to just, play one lane, that's fine, and then control if we're sprinting or not. So I think what we can do is take this. So if we just really quick, if we find the references on this lean alpha, we see where it's set. So we're setting it. Double click that, and what we can just basically see that like whatever leans alpha we're at, we're our target value for that is going to be coming from ground speed. So if we're at 0, our alpha is going to be 0. And if we are at run speed, which in my project is 730, then we are going to set our alpha to 1. So that means that I wonder if I can watch this value over here. So we'll just watch this, not in scope. Always fun. If I come to the event graph, there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's just plug something in real quick. So we'll just do a print string over here. We will get it lanes alpha. We'll plug that in here. We'll set the duration to 0 so it just stays there. Plug that in. It should pop up somewhere. Here we are, that black 0. Actually, what we'll do is end. No, what is it? Never remember. I have it someplace else. It's something. And there it is. Just selected the wrong one. This here, that lanes alpha is going to plug into there, and then we're just going to say lanes alpha. Then we'll compile. That way we know where we're looking right there on that 0, that black, right there. Okay, so if we play now, we should see that since we're moving, I've got our move speed up here at 0. So we're at walk speed 365. So that's half of our 730. So we're at half on our lanes alpha. You can see that there at 0.5. If we go even slower, that's 25%. So we're walking here essentially. We get our lanes alpha at 0.25. So if we go back up to running, we're at 1. And if we're sprinting, we're as far into it as we're going to be. So I think what we could probably do, let me see, sprinting, it's 1095. Okay, let's see. I'm just thinking we will go back here. And I don't normally like to do this stuff in the anim graph itself. Usually like to do it somewhere in the event graph, but we're just playing it loose and wild here. So here we'll go to leans alpha. If we're sprinting is false, we'll just drag in that leans alpha. And we'll say, actually on this one, we'll just drop it down a little bit to 0.75. And then if we want more lane, we'll just use that lane alpha entirely. So let's drop this down to 0.25. So we can see like a really big difference here. Let's play. So we are running. Now when we're moving left and right, like we're hardly getting any lean. And then when we're sprinting, we're getting more of that lean. So just checking, just doing the eyeball check. So here if we do like 0.75, this is just another way to adjust the lean amount per state that you're in. There are other ways to do it too, but don't really want to spend a lot of time doing this. I just wanted to show that. So we're still leaning. Anyway, we'll keep our old setup and keep moving on our sprint. Excuse me. Okie dokie. Let's open up our map, our animation map. Save those changes. Recent levels. Get our animation map going. So here we're going to review where we are with our sprint animation. And keep knocking it out. Just move forward to, oops, do this one. Edit our sequencer file. Hide these other two. Come down here. Bring up our layers. And we'll turn off our root layer. Right, now we can see where we're at. So I think one of the things I want to do is probably adjust, start making like little adjustment layers on these things. We'll just call this adjust and set a key and just gross adjustments. I didn't like how much the butt was kind of sticking out. We'll see how that was working. He's a little low now on that down position. Might be okay though. But let's look at it here on the actual layer that we're doing the animation on. Here we are. We'll just move that up a bit. That way we keep the same amount of up movement, but less down. So we're in that down position less. And then here on this up pose, I want to rotate that chest to where we get kind of this convex bit. Let's see. I'll bring these over here. Just copy that over. A little less coming out of our main pose there. That feels good. I like it here. There's something with the hands I'm not digging. Like I'm feeling that this right there, that drag. Too much on the wrist. So let's just try to break out of that a little bit. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I'm feeling it here, big time. Too much. And paste that back to the front. I like that a lot better. And one more thing I want to do, so I'm going to copy those changes over, mirror them to the other side. Oops, what happened there? Oh. Select my curves, copy, and paste them at the right spot. paste, paste. And then on the wrist, I'm going to copy that. Make sure we've got a little going back and forth between the last frame and the first frame just to make sure that it links properly. We have a little bit of bumping on the toe there that we need to fix. But let's finish here with the wrist. So I'll copy that over, paste and paste, and then we'll take those two changes from the upper arm and the wrist, set my auto tangents, and minus equals 5, just so that it's offset equally. That's better. Okay. Then we're going to fix this. So just looks like this needs to be a 0 here. There we go. So let's make sure. So again, going back and forth between the first and last frame real quick, just to see if there's any changes. Other things I'm going to do, I'm going to come over to this adjustment layer, add in the clavicle and the upper arms, set a key, and get rid of this outside stuff. I'm not confused about what happens if I accidentally drag outside the time range. So one thing I want to do, I want to keep her low here. And I think I did that move on the wrong layer. Not sure where I did that. Let's select objects. Okay, I mean, you got everything in there. Sure, I'm on the correct layer. Okay, let's rotate that back. I think what I can do is try to get this leg up a little bit higher there. And then let's see what happens. I don't think I can set a pass-through key, but I can just set it back to 0 here. There we go. Do you like that a little bit better? Do the same thing on the other leg. What frame was that? There's the second frame, so it's going to be frame 7 over here. On the opposite side, we'll come over to frame 7, set a key on 5, 7, 10, come to 7. What we'll do is we'll copy this from the right foot and paste it here, here on the left foot. So it gets that same offset. So the legs are shooting out a little bit more after that kickoff. One thing I wanted to do was make sure that the arm isn't coming too far over past the torso. The midline on the torso and the neck would be about right here. And it looks like we've got two frames where the arm just kind of hangs out in the same spot. And right here, in relation to how far it moved from the other frames. So we'll want to back that out. And still I won't want it to come over too far. Okay, there we go. Get this nice kind of circle going on. Moving a little bit, moving a little bit more. There we go. Bringing this nice little circle here. So here we're moving here to here nicely across those frames without it staying too long in one area. Then another thing that I wanted to do was bring this back a little bit more. Just have a little bit more arm pump in there. See how that right side is a little higher now? So I'm going to select these in this order, and hopefully it also pastes in that order. Paste, and then paste, and then we're going to offset it again because we're mirroring it to the other side. And that looks good. I like that. So now we're going to work on the head. So let's go ahead and save it. Offset, delete those. And one thing I'm going to try actually is selecting these two layers and hitting merge layers. That way it just collapses those two layers down into one. And then now it's like I'm working on one layer again, so that's nice. Let's save that. Okay, so now we're going to take this head and I got to show controls as overlays. I'm going to hit this toggle right there. I'm going to look at my keys. I got nothing. Good, I got clean stuff here. So as we come down, we want to drag that head, and then the head, we're at our lowest position, and then the head will kind of catch back up. So when we're going up on frame 5, we'll push that head back down. So we'll copy that over, and then copy that over. There we go. So add a little bit of bounce there. And that might be too much, but that's okay. I tend to animate where I move. I'll do a move or an adjustment that's a little bit too extreme, and then I'll back out of that just to see how far I really want to go. And I will do our, it looks like it's hitting really hard left and right. So we want to soften that out. Now try to just soften that out on the head, but I'm going to use our trails again. They probably won't update, but we'll see. That hits there. That moves further over here. It's hard there, and then we want to move further over here. Let's update our trails. Then here, just move that over just a little. And then on this one, we'll move that over. And I don't, it's a little better. Might be a little bit too much on all of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all those keys. So we're only setting translation keys now. I'm going to isolate our translation curves and take our values, multiply it by, I'll just say a half. So it won't move as much or bob as much. I like that. Okay, so let's keep going. For rotational purposes, we're going to work on our up and down. So world X here. We're coming down, same thing. So we'll drag, we're using the tip of the nose to kind of guide us. And then we'll go down a little bit here. And we'll come back to our rotation, and then we'll just paste that. And then paste. We got a little head bob there too on our rotation. I like that. So one thing I'll try to do is just a little bit of look. So keep that head kind of looking straight on. So or just that would be like yaw rotation. Get rid of this trail. And then the last thing is like our tilting or rolling. So this way. So this is like a more like a weight thing. Like weight as in measurement of how heavy something is. So that head comes down. And we'll probably have it here, tip that way. And here we'll tip the other way, because another thing that we want to do is I'm looking for is like trying to make a little bit more offset. I like the more offset something is, the more cartoony it's going to be. So I won't typically clean up tangents until the very end, but let's paste that over. Nope, copy and paste. It's interesting if you middle mouse click. If I set that back as an auto key, I want this tangent to paste, but if you middle mouse click over and set the key, it won't take that information. Looks like we have an issue here in our arm. Probably screwed that up in our merge. Let's clean that up. That's okay. So yeah, I wanted this to come back more here. That one's hitting a little bit too hard here. So I think what I would just do is I'll just copy this over, copy, and paste. Whoops, that didn't work. Try again. Copy, paste. There we are. Paste one more time. So again, we're cleaning up our auto tangents, and then we're offsetting half of our cycle. And I'm deleting these keys just for cleanliness. And that did not work. All right, let's go one at a time. One more time. Hopefully this will fix itself. Delete that, paste. Then this upper arm, copy, delete those and paste. And then now what we'll do is offset. And hopefully it'll fix it. Yeah, it's much better. Very nice. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Looking good. I like that offset. There's something about the head that I was doing. Let's see if, yes, I was talking about these keys, not pasting. So yeah, if you middle mouse click over here and paste that key, so like if this key was like a completely different value, it'll paste it, but it won't paste the tangent. So you have to copy the key and then paste it that way. So Control C, Control V, and then it'll keep that tangent, which is unfortunate. So we got some head bob now, and I like that. Are we able to scale the head? Yes, we are. That's good. Because I think in the original animation on the run, I was scaling the head. So I'll just do a non-uniform. Ooh, is it all? Okay. So I want to figure out what this is doing. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's weird. Okay, that's, I want to go down, which is not doing what I would expect it to do. And I want to go out. And then this one. Okay, there's my down. Okay, got that. And now out. Then same thing over here. So let's go here, paste on 8. Um, and then we'll play around with doing this as something that kind of hits harder. So there I'm using the tween tool. So whatever object I have selected, it will either favor the next key or favor the previous key, which is nice. And then I'll just paste those here like that. That way, like you get some of that bounce and you feel it on that one. I'm gonna times equals. I'm gonna scale this down. I don't want that much scale. I'll just do half by half. That way, it's more felt and not seen. One of those animation things where like you want to feel kind of like the force and the strength of the action, but like all the crazy stuff that you might do to make that happen, you don't really want to see it all the time. So let's see if this scales to. It doesn't do anything. I bet FK would scale it. But I think I'm happy with this run. Let's check it in game. Let's save it, turn back on root motion. Then we'll export. Oh, I guess when I remerged it, I didn't see that, but it changed the name. So if you change the name over here, it doesn't change the name over here in the layers. But if you change the name in the layers, it'll change the name over here in the sequencer area, which is weird. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess my feedback there would be whatever I do over here to mute or lock a channel um, or layer, I guess it should do the same over here and vice versa. Like one should control, they both should be parent and children of each other simultaneously. Okay, save, oops, getting that name, baking it out, anims, locomotion unarmed, exporting, and then we'll play and sprint. Yeah, it feels good. We'll run, sprint. Do it in strafe mode. I like it. Now the question is if I'm going to need to change those additive poses for um, entering and exiting sprints, and I think I will. Um, I'm not sure if I'll remember if that's the next thing that we'll have to work on. So next steps would be looking at a forward left and forward right version of our sprint, and then working with those additive poses, the additive animation when you're entering and exiting sprint to make that feel and work better. So I believe I want to say that our sprint animation is finished. So thanks for coming along with me on that journey. Um, and hopefully this was informative and watching us make an animation in Unreal Engine with Control Rig. So like I said, next steps, we'll come back and do a forward left and a forward right based off our foundational sprint run now. All right, thanks a lot and happy animating.